Okay, the Food and Drug Administration does nothing. I came up with the idea for it and had Nixon put that into effect. Nixon hated the war in Vietnam, and anything that I wanted, he would do for the country, because he trying to counterbalance the bad of the war. And there's a long history with Nixon. It's weird, but I helped with de-escalating the war, and I got us the 18-year-old vote and the Food and Drug Administration. Now, the Food and Drug Administration, in my mind, was going to check the food supply, keep it pure, and check the drugs that come out and make sure that they're good for you. They do neither. It's just a front. It's a way to keep certain foods that are good for you out of the food supply. It's a way they can look the other way when there's too much fertilizer. That's really chemicals are making their way into the food supply. They don't check that. They don't check the drugs that are being released. With the drugs come along a card or a pamphlet, and it will tell you how the drug did in in blind studies. And a lot of times the placebo group, which means they just had a sugar pill or something, and versus the group that took the drug, the results are so similar that you can tell that the drug is really not going to be that helpful. Like, let's say 20% of the people on the placebo group were helped by the drug, and the real drug, 23% of the people were helped by the drug. It's not like it's not like a miracle cure. It's not a cure, and there are side effects to the drug. What there really are side effects to are the other ingredients in the drug. There's a stearic acid. Let me see what I've got here. It's almost in everything. I think I probably should have figured this out. No, this one doesn't even tell you. Other information. Read directions and warning before use. Inactive ingredients. Here we are. Carnauba wax. And who knows what that is. Hypromellose. Hypromellose. I don't know what that is. Iron oxides, which iron is toxic. Iron oxides, I don't know what that is. Magnesium stearate. Now these magnesium stearate, I believe, is something that dries. You can use that to dry, like say you want to dry flowers. Microcrystalline cellulose. That doesn't sound terrible. It doesn't have an X, Y, or Z in it. I don't know. Pre-gelatinized starch. Pre-gelatinized starch. Polydextrose. Well, that's a sugar. Polyethylene glycol. Again, it's glyco. Like glycerin is not good for you. It's a toxic chemical. It's not natural or anything. Talc. Now, talc is a known carcinogen. So like talcum powder, be real careful of that with your baby. Make sure you don't get it into her nose or mouth or into her crotch. You could use it on her bottom, but you probably don't want to use talcum powder on your baby or on yourself. You certainly don't want to eat it. Titanium. See, I didn't even know I was going to do this. I just saw that I had this package sitting right there. Titanium dioxide. And triacetin. So instead of just using like ground rice flour maybe, and a much smaller pill, they put all these extra ingredients that, see, this I know causes dryness, and then you wonder why you have such a dry mouth, and then you might have to take a pill for your dry mouth. My mouth keeps drying up because the extra ingredients in almost every pain pill, including aspirin, has acylic acid, and that causes dryness. You know, the those little pouches that come in with the pills, they're now putting the ingredient in those pouches that's used to say right on them, poison, do not eat. They're putting that ingredient right into your pills as another ingredient. And then they don't have to put the pouch in, but your mouth is going to dry up. That stuff it dries stuff up. One time some got on a pair of shoes that I had, and the shoe ended up, I'm a size 11, the shoe ended up looking like a baby shoe and feeling like a rock. So, and we're ingesting that now. And you're going to get heart arrhythmias, you're going to get heart disease, you're going to get heart failure, you're going to get liver failure, you're going to get, diabetes is the big one that they love to give people, diabetes, because then you're on a drug for the rest of your life. They'll give you mostly heart things and lung problems and stomach ailments. The stomach ailments, I think, the leaky gut, that's one that I named, is from the food that you eat. And and cancer. The big C. A lot of these extra ingredients in here are carcinogens. And now if you take this pill and 2 or 3 other pills during the day, and they all have the same or similar inactive ingredients, that's all going to work together against your body. And then they have you. Then they have, and they'll give you the most expensive cancer treatment that they can find. When people go out of the country to get cancer treatment, I think that's a good idea, because the medical people here are just going to drain you dry. And like everybody keeps telling you, 50% of bankruptcies, personal bankruptcies, is from medical bills. So, think twice about what you really need, whether you really need the medical help of medical people, and get a second or even a third opinion. They'll give you the really unscrupulous people will give you a a diagnosis of cancer when you don't even have cancer. Also, just beware that a lot of times abortion clinics or abortion doctors will give you a false positive and then tell you you had an abortion. And so the woman has to live with that, and there's usually a lot of guilt involved. Women don't want to have abortions. The anti-abortion legislation would just be to hurt women. That's the only reason that they would do it. The women are still going to have an abortion. It just won't be a safe abortion. So it's just really, and well, hold your ears and hum on this one, because it's pretty. This is really disgusting. But the mooks, the organized crime, occult, the Satanists, the ones who go to a satanic church, want to have abortion made illegal, because then the woman, a desperate woman, will go and get an abortion from one of their people, witches. They'll call them different things, so that they will eat, the people in the cult eat fetuses, human fetuses. And that is why these really horrible politicians, the really slimy ones, like Pence, probably eats fetuses. And that's, so he would want to have, and Trump, and they would want to have fetuses available, and the only way they can do that is to keep abortion illegal, so that the women have to go to somebody in a cult to get an abortion. And then once she has an abortion, then the fetuses goes to a ceremony and they eat it. It's disgusting. If you watch I, Claudius, and those people who think that they were gods back in the day, back in the when Romans were calling themselves gods, like Trump says he's a god. I don't know if Mike Pence thinks he's a god, but probably. I mean, his viewpoint on everything is Satan. He belongs to a satanic church at any rate. So that's why they want to keep abortion illegal, not for any kind of moral. They don't have any morals. And who are they to say? How do they know when a soul, and they're murderers, but they don't want you to murder a fetus when it's, well, I don't like to weigh in on it, but that's what they're doing. That's why they want abortion to be illegal. And I guess I will leave it at that, because that is just way more disgusting than I like to say. But anyway, so if you were holding your ears and humming, you can take your fingers out of your ears and turn this off. All right. Peace. I hope that didn't disgust you too much, but that's true. Okay.